Okay.
Okay.
Good morning, all of you. I welcome you all once again to the second year botany webinar sessions. As part of this webinar session, we are discussing about the genetics topic, Unit 3 in the second year. In that, we are having a single chapter that is Principles of Inheritance and Variation. In the previous two sessions, we discussed about the basic Mendel's experiment. Mendel is known as the father of genetics. He has done some experiments on the pea plants. We discussed about them. We discussed about the monohybrid cross, back cross, test cross, and later we discussed about the law of dominant, law of segregation, incomplete dominance, etc. Today we are going to discuss about the dihybrid cross. So monohybrid cross means when we are taking only one character, whereas dihybrid cross discusses about what happens if we take more than one character. We will discuss about the law of independent assortment, chromosomal theory of inheritance, linkage, and recombination. These four are very important both for botany as well as zoology students. So I request all the students to actively engage themselves in the content. And I take this opportunity to congratulate Bharati, who has been delivering the lectures both for first year and second year, as and when we seek her assistance. I thank Mr. Naveen also and our host, Srimati Shailja Madam, for providing the
Thank you, madam.
platform at any time. Thank you. I welcome
Thank,
Bharati to
thank
present
you.
our session.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Welcome,
Can,
children. I thank my principal, Mohammad Riazuddin Jarasangam. I thank my coordinator, A. Venugopala Reddy, sir, and co-coordinator, M. Naveen Kumar, sir, for giving me this opportunity. So, children will travel through the journey. We are going to continue now through the chapter 9, Principles of Inheritance and Variation under the Unit 3, Genetics. So, in previous classes, 2 sessions, we have discussed about the Mendel's experiment, inheritance of one gene, that is monohybrid cross, and what are the deviation of the Mendelian concept of dominance, that is incomplete dominance and codominance. And today's topic will be dealing with the inheritance of two genes, that is dihybrid cross. We'll learn about it, chromosomal theory of inheritance that has been given by Sutton and Boveri, and also we'll add a note on linkage and recombination. So while entering into this, we'll first discuss about the what is dihybrid cross. In monohybrid cross, we have taken only one pair of contrasting character. We have seen the example of tall and dwarf plants and we have crossed it. So in dihybrid cross, we'll be taking two pairs of contrasting character together. You know that Mendel has taken 7 pairs of contrasting character and done the experiment. But while crossing, he has taken only one pair of contrasting character to do the experiment. That was the secret of his success. Then later on, he has done with dihybrid cross also, and he has given some laws. So we'll see what laws they are. Before that, we'll see what is a dihybrid cross. So di means two, hybrid cross means crossing of two individuals. So it will give result to a hybrid cross. So when two parents are taken differing in two contrasting characters, it is called as dihybrid cross. Suppose if you take shape of the seed and color of the seed. Seeds, you know, shape will be different and color will be different. So shape of the seed is round. One shape of the seed is round. Other shape is wrinkled. That means something it is not at all round. So these two characters are taken and then yellow and green. The color of the seed is yellow and green. He has taken, Mendel has taken like this. So shape of the seed and color of the seeds are two pairs of contrasting characters. In that he has taken the dominant character round. By doing monohybrid cross, we can know which is dominant character and which is recessive character. So round is dominant over wrinkled and yellow is dominant over green. So Mendel has taken two dominant character and crossed with the two recessive character. So two dominant character in this is round and yellow. He has crossed with the individual having wrinkled and green color shaped seed. So round yellow is represented by capital R, capital Y, and wrinkled green is represented by small y, small r. So it is homozygous only. So you know homozygous means both the alleles will be same. So now when a cross is made between round yellow, the phenotype which has been obtained in F1 generation, all were round yellow only, but it was a heterozygote. So we know that in F1 generation, all the seeds were round and yellow in color. What happened to the recessive character, that is wrinkled and green? So to know that, we can do F1 selfing of F1 generation. So in F2 generation, what happened? Mendel has obtained some other character also. That is new parental character. It was not present in the parent. That is, it was not present in the parent like round and yellow and wrinkled and green. That character was not present in few progeny. So he was wondering what happened, what actually happened there. So he has got a new combination of the seeds, that is round green and wrinkled yellow. So this he got in F2 generation. In F1 generation, all were round and yellow. Capital R, capital Y, small y. It is a double heterozygote. So when he has self-crossed this round yellow, he has obtained new combination, that is non-parental combination. What were those new combination? New combination were round green and wrinkled yellow. So he has obtained in which ratio? Phenotypic ratio, that is external appearance of the plant, showed the seeds as 9:3:3:1. That means he has got seeds round yellow, round green, wrinkled yellow, wrinkled green in the ratio of 9:3:3:1. So parental combinations also he obtained and new combination also he has obtained. So what are the parental combination? Round yellow and wrinkled green. What is the new combination? Round green, wrinkled yellow. These were obtained in the ratio of 9:3:3:1. So in a dihybrid cross, the phenotypic ratio which he has obtained is 9:3:3:1. What was the phenotypic ratio of monohybrid cross? It was 3:1. Okay, so next in dihybrid cross, he obtained the genotypic ratio as 4:2:2:2:2:1:1:1. So that means he has obtained these ratios. So if you add up all this, it will come to 16. If you add up in the phenotype, it will come to 16. That means he has obtained probability of 16 zygotes. So if you see the monohybrid genotypic ratio, it is 1:2:1. And dihybrid genotypic ratio is 4:2:2:2:2:1:1:1:1. That means for easy remembering, you can write 4 and 2's will be in 4 and 1's will be in 4. So total, if you add, it will be 16 zygotes. So this is the ratio of the phenotype and the genotype in the dihybrid cross. So if you see in a pictorial diagram, the cross between the shape and color of the seed. What is the shape of the seed? Shape of the seed is round and wrinkled. What is the color of the seed? It is yellow and green. So he has crossed the parents bearing dominant character and recessive character. So the gametes will be having capital R, capital Y. He has done the crossing with the recessive character, that is small r, small y. And what did he obtain in the F1 generation? He has obtained in the F1 generation all round and yellow seeds. That means what? Whatever is expressed in the F1 generation, that is dominant. But what happened to the recessive character? So again, he self-crossed F1 generation and he has obtained, for example, if you take the gametes, capital R, capital Y, one gamete, small r, capital Y, one gamete, capital R, small y, one gamete, small r, small y, one gamete. They have assorted independently. So if you see the cross in a Punnett square, you can write the gametes on either sides like capital R, capital Y, small r, capital Y, capital R, small y, small r, small y. This side also for the female gametes, you can write capital R, capital Y, small r, capital Y, capital R, small y, small r, small y. While you are writing the sequence here on the male gametes, you have to maintain the same sequence in the female gametes also. That is mandatory. You should follow the rule. So when you are crossing these two gametes, male gamete and female gamete, the progeny you should write in the boxes. So what is the progeny of this? Capital R, capital R, capital Y, capital Y. Okay. This one, if you see, capital R, small r, capital Y, capital Y. This one, capital R, capital Y, small y. So capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. If you cross these two, capital R, small r, capital Y. Likewise, capital R, small r, capital Y. Likewise, capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. While writing, you denote the capital letters first and then small letters afterwards. It is a rule. But in 10th class, they have written in either way. So you better follow this rule, writing the capital first and then small letters next. So this one also capital small r, capital Y, small y. Likewise, you fill up all the boxes. So when you see the boxes, you will find that 9 round yellow seeds are obtained. If you count them, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 round yellow has been obtained. If you see wrinkled yellow, 1, 2, 3. So 3 wrinkled yellow you have obtained. If you see round green, 1, 2, 3. Round green has been obtained. If you see wrinkled green, only 1. So what is the ratio? It is 9:3:3:3:1. So this is the phenotypic ratio. If you see phenotypic ratio, 9 round yellow, 3 wrinkled yellow, 3 round green, 1 wrinkled green. So this is the phenotypic ratio, external appearance of the seed. So if you see this round yellow and wrinkled green are parental combination, you obtain non-parental combination, that is new combination. It is wrinkled yellow and round green. So law of independent assortment has been given by Mendel depending upon this dihybrid cross. What did he say? He said that 2 pairs of contrasting characters are taken. We have taken 2 pairs of contrasting characters, that is shape of the seed and the color of the seed. So in a hybrid, that is in a F1 generation, the segregation, that is a separation of 1 pair of character, that is round and wrinkled, is independent of the other pair of character, that is yellow and green. So if you see, the segregation of 1 pair is independent on the other character. It will independently assort and then go to the progeny. That is what Mendel has given. So this law is based on the dihybrid cross. What is dihybrid cross? It is a cross between 2 individuals differing in a 2 pairs of contrasting character. So we have seen the cross between round yellow and wrinkled green. So this proves laws of independent assortment. What does law of independent assortment say? 1 pair of contrasting character will independently assort from the other pair of contrasting character. Okay. So that is about the law of independent assortment. So if you see the genotype of the round yellow, it is capital R, capital R, capital Y, capital Y. If you see the genotype of wrinkled green, it is capital R, small r, small r, small y, small y. Now in the genotype of F1, the segregation and association of these alleles will be in a 50% of the chances. So capital R, capital Y, small y is a double heterozygote. So in this 50% of capital R and 50% of small y will be independently assorting or combining with capital Y and small y. That means what? They are independently segregating and associating with the other pair of contrasting character. They are not mixing or blending during the pairing. So similarly, 50% of R will be a capital Y, and other 50% of capital R will be a small y. Likewise, 50% of small r will be a capital Y, 50% of small r will be a small y. So if capital R is combining with capital Y, the progeny will have round and yellow. If the capital R is combining with small y, the progeny will have round and green. If the small r is combining with capital Y, the progeny will be a wrinkled yellow. If the small r is combining with small y, the progeny will be a wrinkled green. So there are 4 types of gametes, that is capital R, capital Y, capital R, small r, capital Y, small r, small y. Each will be having 25% of the 1/4 of the total gametes produced. So total, if you see, it is only 25% of the share. So the phenotypic ratio which we obtained in F2 generation is 9:3:3:1. And the genotypic ratio is 4:2:2:2:2:2:1:1:1:1. So while remembering, you can see that only 1 4 is there, 4 2s are there, 4 1s are there. If you add this, you will find 16 zygotes. So in this 16 zygotes. So in this also it is 16 zygotes. So phenotypes, if you wanted to calculate, for a monohybrid cross, we got only 2 phenotypes. For a genotype, we got 3. So how to calculate if it is more than 3 pairs of contrasting characters taken or 4 pairs of contrasting character? They have given a simple formula. For phenotypes, you should do the formula with 2 to the power of n. To know the genotypes, you will do 3 to the power of n. What is n means? N is nothing but the cross. So if you see the hybrid, for a monohybrid cross, n is 1. For a dihybrid cross, n is 2. For a trihybrid cross, n is 3, like that. So if you see the phenotype in the monohybrid cross, when n is equal to 1, what is the phenotype? So it is 2 to the power of 1, that is nothing but 2. So if you see, you got the ratio, phenotypic ratio is different, phenotypes are different. So if you see the phenotypic ratio, it is 3:1. How many phenotypes are there? It is 2 phenotypes, 1 and 2. Okay, so phenotypes are 2. Genotypes is 3 to the power of 1 because n is 1 now. So 3 to the power of n, that is equal to 3. So if you see the genotypic ratio, how much did you get that time? 1:2:1. That is how many genotypes? 1, 2, 3. So 3 genotypes. Likewise, for a dihybrid cross, n is equal to 2. So what are the phenotypes? You will get 2 to the power of 2. That means 2 into 2. It is 4. And what is the phenotypic ratio you got now? 9:3:3:1. How many phenotypes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 phenotypes. What is the genotypes? 3 to the power of 2. You should not multiply 3 into 2. It is wrong. So it is a square of 3. That means 3 into 3. 3 into 3 is 9. So what is the genotypic ratio of a dihybrid cross? Just now we have seen, no? 4:2:2:2:2:2:1:1:1:1. So how many genotypes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So how many genotypes? 9. Like that, you can do it for number of crosses also to find the phenotypes and genotypes. So phenotypes formula is 2 to the power of n and genotypes formula is 3 to the power of n. So now we'll see what is the chromosomal theory of inheritance. So we are all aware of chromosomes. Chromosomes are nothing but the color bodies that is present in the nucleus. But when Mendel was doing the experiment, that time nobody knew about the genes or the chromosomes. After the discovery of microscope, people started observing the cell under the microscope. That time chromosomes were discovered and the nucleus was given importance. So when cell theory was given, that time nucleus was also identified. Inside the nucleus there were chromatin bodies, that is a colored bodies present, and they have given the name as chromosome. So that time chromosome was popular. During that time, Sutton and Boveri was studying about the chromosomes also, and they told that chromosome is nothing but similar to or parallel to factors given by Mendel. Now, what is the chromosomal theory of inheritance given by Sutton and Boveri? Sutton is an American graduate, and Boveri, Theodore Boveri, is a German botanist. So, pairing and separation of a pair of chromosome lead to the segregation of a pair of factors they carried. That means when the chromosome were pairing together and when they were separating during the anaphase, that time the factors that were present on the chromosome also separated. This is parallel to what Mendel has given. Mendel has given that factors also separate. And Sutton and Boveri also told that when chromosomes are separating, factors will also separate. So he has given chromosomal theory of inheritance. But that time they did not accept this theory. So experimental evidence was given by T.H. Morgan. So we'll see that. So chromosomal theory of inheritance was given by Walter Sutton and Theodore Boveri. So Walter and Sutton has given the theory, but proof was not given. The experimental verification was done by Thomas Hunt Morgan. Thomas Hunt Morgan has given experimental verification. That means he has done experiments on the fruit fly called as Drosophila melanogaster. This is the experimental insect taken by the Morgan. So this person, T.H. Morgan, has been called as a flyman. He is the father of experimental genetics. He has done experiments exclusively on fruit fly, that is Drosophila melanogaster. You can see here two Drosophila insects are present. You can see the color of the eye, it is red in color. This fly is red in color, having red eyes, and this fly is having white eyes. So this is the melanogaster, that is Drosophila melanogaster, on which T.H. Morgan has done the experiment. That is why this person is known as a flyman. So why did he take this insect as an experimental material? He has used this Drosophila melanogaster as experimental material because they breed at a high rate. Their life cycle is 2 weeks. So within 2 weeks, again, they will produce progenies. And they had very less chromosome. That is, only 4 pairs of chromosomes were present. That means 2n is equal to 8. We know that 23 pairs of chromosome is present in our human beings. So it is nothing but 23 pairs of chromosome. In Drosophila, it is only 4 pairs of chromosome. It was easy to study. And whatever variations was seen in the chromosome was easily available and visible under the low power microscope. So Morgan has used this insect as his experimental material. So what are the advantages by the Morgan to take fruit fly as an experimental material? So first, this fruit fly could be grown on a simple synthetic medium in a lab. You know, fruit means what? Fruits, you know, it is edible sugary substance. So the fly can be easily grown on the fruits, that is like banana, mango, pineapple, apple, like that. So these fruits were easily available, and in the lab also they can easily be grown. So he has taken this fruit fly. And this fruit fly will continue their life cycle in 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, they'll complete their life cycle and produce large number of progeny in the single mating. So there were many flies produced, and the Morgan observed them carefully by looking at the changes that are present in the fruit fly. And these female and male sexes were present. They were easily identified which was female and which was male, because the size of the female and male sexes were different. And also in your textbook, they are given that male sex is larger than the female sex. To identify the male and female sexes, that is sexual dimorphism was seen. And then to identify the male and female sexes, the abdomen of the male was round and the abdomen of the female was conical. Like that, we can easily identify the male Drosophila and the female Drosophila. That means sexual dimorphism was seen in these insects. And also heredity variation can be seen under low power microscope. That time microscope was not used much, but whatever microscope was available, that was easier for them to observe the fruit flies. Just now we have seen the fruit flies with red eyes and white eyes. So that heredity variation was easily observed under the low microscope. Because of these advantages, T.H. Morgan has taken fruit fly as his experimental insect. So why wasn't Mendel's work recognized till 1900? So Mendel's work was not recognized till 1900 because Mendel was an Austrian monk. He has done his experiment and published only in a local journal. And he did not have any communication with the other biologist or the zoologist. And he did not, his theory was not accepted that factors were stable. They are carried by carrying the expression of the traits. That was not accepted that time. And factors were not present as a particular entity in the cell. They did not accept that also. They told there is no such thing like factors in the cell and they are not stable entities. And they do not blend, that was not also accepted. Mendel told that pair of alleles are present in the cell that will not blend and they are inherited by the gametes. We know that now. Genes are inherited by the gametes, we know that. But that time Mendel has told that alleles are inherited by the gametes without being blending or mixing. But this also was not accepted. So there was no communication between Mendel and other biologists. They did not accept factors as a stable traits, and they did not accept that they are expressing the character. They did not accept that alleles do not mix or blend, and they did not accept the mathematician to tell about the biology, and they also did not accept the statistical analysis which the Mendel has given while doing the experiment, and there was no proof that factors were present in the cell. Then later on, now we know that factors are nothing but the genes. They are present on the chromosomes. That time Mendel had just told that factors are present in the cell and these factors are inherited by the progeny. That time they did not accept this. That is why Mendel's work went unrecognized. But later on in 1900, after 1900, three scientists called as Hugo de Veris, Correns and Teschermark, they have rediscovered the father of genetics, that is Mendel work, and then importance was given. Hugo de Veris was separate. He was a Dutch biologist. Karl Correns was a German botanist. Teschermark was an Austrian botanist. So these three individually studied the Mendel work and told that whatever Mendel has given the laws of inheritance was right. And they have been proved also experimentally by various scientists. And then later on in 1902, the Walter Sutton and Theodore Boveri has told that the behavior of the chromosome was parallel to the behavior of the Mendel's factor. But experimental proof was not given. That experimental verification was done by T.H. Morgan. So Sutton and Boveri told that the behavior of the chromosome is nothing but the behavior of the genes. So there was parallel between the behavior of the colored bodies present in the cell and the behavior of the factors that is present in the pea plant. So we can see the comparison between the behavior of the chromosomes and the gene. So A, genes, and B, chromosomes we are taken on either sides, and now we'll see the comparison. So you should remember the title of this side is the gene and title of this side is the chromosome. So genes occur in pairs. Genes nothing but factors. So we know that while writing, we'll write like this. For example, tall and dwarf, if we cross, so capital T, it is in a pair. The alleles are in pairs. Small t, the alleles are in pairs. Capital T, small t, the alleles are in pairs. Likewise, chromosomes also pair during the cell division. That is called as homologous chromosome. One will come from the father, one will come from the mother. So they also pair. Next, during the gamete formation, the alleles will separate into single gamete. So we know that the law of segregation is present. For example, if you see the tallness and draftness, capital T will form two gametes, that is capital T one gamete, capital T another gamete. That means the alleles are going to the gamete without mixing or blending. If you see small t, it forms two gametes, small t one gamete, small t another gamete. This is also separating independently. But if you wanted to know further, if you take a hybrid of tallness and draftness, you can see capital T is going to one gamete, small t is going to another gamete. That means what? The alleles are separating independently without mixing or blending during the gamete formation. So chromosomes will also separate during the gamete formation. The sister chromatids of the homologous chromosome will separate during the anaphase 2. In your 10th class, you have learned about the meiosis 2, In meiosis 2, anaphase 2 shows that the sister chromatids are separating by splitting of centromere. That means what? During the centromere formation, after the crossing over has occurred, the sister chromatids will enter into the gametes. Likewise, here also, during the gamete formation, the alleles will enter into the gametes. So, behavior of the genes and the chromosome is also parallel here. And if you see the factors here in a hybrid, you can see capital T and small t is not mixing. So likewise, in the chromosomes also, they don't mix, they don't blend, they will go independently into the gamete. For example, if you see capital X and capital Y, if you see in the chromosome, the gametes will not blend with each other. One gamete will have the X, another gamete will have the Y. So chromosomes will also not blend. They are inherited in a similar way, like factors. So there is a parallel behavior of the genes and the chromosome. Depending upon this and about the laws of inheritance given by Mendel, Sutton has united the behavior of the chromosome with the behavior of the genes, and he has given the chromosomal theory of inheritance. So two alleles of a gene pair are located on the homologous sides of the homologous chromosome. If you take the homologous chromosome, wherever the one allele is present parallel to that in the next chromatid and the next homologous chromosome chromatid, they are present in the same line. That is what given here. So in the meiosis 1 of the anaphase, if you see, the homologous chromosome will separate, but the sister chromatids will remain associated like the genes. The gametes formation in a heterozygous condition, if you see, the gametes will separate carrying a allele. And in the meiosis 2, anaphase 2, the sister chromatid will separate, splitting the centromere. Likewise, the allele will go to each gamete without mixing in a hybrid. So same theory has been given by Sutton and Boveri, and Sutton has united this knowledge of chromosomal segregation with the Mendelian principle, and he has given the chromosomal theory of inheritance. So chromosomal theory of inheritance, what does it say? It says that pairing and separation of the chromosome also leads to the separation of factors which they carry. This is called as chromosomal theory of inheritance. So when the chromosome is separating, the factors present on the chromosome will also separate. So this experimental evidence was given by Thomas Hunt Morgan. He has been working on the fruit fly Drosophila melanogaster. Depending upon the crosses he made, he gave this experimental evidences on this theory. So we'll see cross A, cross B between them. So before that, we'll study what is linkage and recombination. Linkage means association. Recombination means combining again. Why it will combine again? It will combine again because of the crossing over that has taken place during the cell division. So linkage is nothing but the physical association of the genes present on the same chromosome. Physical association means there will not be any chemical interaction between the genes. Only the distance between the genes will tell us whether they will be carried by the progeny together or not. That is called as linkage. That means what? The linkage will tell the genes are present closely together or carried to the progeny. When they are far apart, they are not carried to the progeny. That is called as linkage. So when linkage occurs, the progeny will be resembling the parent. When the linkage is not present, there will be new characters in the progeny. So new characters are obtained because of the recombination. So what is recombination? Recombination is nothing but the non-parental gene combination. It is not similar to the parents. It shows new variation or the variability in the organism. So if the genes are tightly linked, there will be less recombination. That means there won't be any variation in the progeny. If the genes are very far away, there will be loosely linked. So crossing over will occur in them and new combination will occur. So tightly linked genes will show less recombination. Loosely linked genes will show higher recombination. So this was given by Alfred Steuven on the genetic maps. In the genetic maps, he has used the recombination frequency between the gene pairs. So what is the recombination frequency? How much percentage of new variants are present in the progeny, that is called as recombination frequency. That means how much changes are seen in the offspring, in the children. That is called as recombination frequency. So Alfred Steuven is a student of T.H. Morgan. He has told about the genetic mapping depending upon the recombination frequency. This tells us what is the distance between the genes. What is the distance between the genes present on the chromosome? That means whether the genes are tightly present or whether they are loosely present on the chromosome. And depending upon that, he has given the position of the genes on the chromosome. So recombination frequency will tell us about the distance between the genes and what is the position of the gene on the chromosome. So if you see the measurement units of this, it is called as map units. The genetic maps is given as the unit for map units, or it is also called as centimorgan with honor on the Morgan. So 1 map unit is equal to 1 centimorgan. So if you see, 1 map unit is equal to 1% of recombination. So while drawing this distance on the chromosome, you should have one gene at least in common. So one gene should be common while drawing the position of the genes on the chromosome. So when the recombination frequency is taken and when the map distance are drawn, so map distance can be more than 100%, but the recombination frequency will not be more than 50%. So recombination frequency can be less, but the map distance should be more. So this genetic maps is used in the human genome sequencing project. Recently, scientists have given successfully the genome present in the human chromosomes. So because of this human genome sequencing project, we can know what are the various defects present in the individual, and we can cure the disease that is present in the individual using gene therapy. So if we know the genome of the human being, we can know what is the disease that is causing to the human being and cure it successfully before the treatment itself. So with the help of this genetic maps also, we can know what is the cell growth, what is the cell differentiation, what is the evolutionary biology of the human being. Like that, we can know various advantages because of this human genome sequencing project. So because of this human genome sequencing project, gene therapy has been proved advantageous to cure the diseases that is present in the human beings. So we'll see the crosses with the Drosophila melanogaster that has been given by T.H. Morgan. So we know that T.H. Morgan has been using fruit fly as his experimental material. So what he has done, he has crossed white-eyed male with red-eyed female. So while crossing, we know that the dominant feature is obtained in the F1 generation. So likewise, Morgan has crossed white-eyed male with the red-eyed female. We'll not take up the male and female sexes. We'll just see white-eyed and red-eyed is crossed. So whatever obtained in the F1 generation, that will be dominant. We know that. So what did Morgan obtain? All red-eyed flies he has obtained. So red-eyed flies means which is dominant here? It is the red colored eye. So red is dominant over white. It shows that red is dominant over white. So now he has self-crossed F1 generation and he obtained red-eyed flies and white-eyed flies equally. And it is in the ratio of 3:1. So actually he obtained all red-eyed flies, that is 3, and white-eyed flies only 1. Okay, he did not get any white-eyed female in them. He got 3 red-eyed. And what are they? Red-eyed were both male and female flies. And 1 white-eyed male was obtained. But he did not get any white-eyed female. And it showed that it is sex-linked. That means it is present on the X chromosome. It is absent on the Y chromosome. So Y chromosome did not carry any genes. So we got the ratio as 3:1. 3 means red, 1 means white. So in red also he got 2 female red-eyed, 1 male red-eyed, and 1 male white-eyed. Like that he got the ratio. And he wondered what happened, why white-eyed female was not obtained. So he made a cross between red-eyed female and white-eyed male, and he has seen the result. So this is the female, that is red-eyed, and this is the male because it is carrying Y chromosome. So Y chromosome, will write it in capital letters and Y as a small letter. So wild type is always denoted by plus sign. So red-eyed is indicated by small w, because we are taking the recessive character as W. So while writing white-eyed male, we'll write small w. While writing red-eyed female, we'll write small w plus. Okay, showing that this is wild type. So wild type will be expressed generally. So red-eyed female is crossed with white-eyed male. So in the gametes, you will get these 2 gametes, that is wild type. And in the gametes of the male, you will get small w and a sperm. So when it is crossed, all red-eyed flies were obtained. Now he has crossed between the red-eyed female and red-eyed male. He has obtained gametes like this. And then what are the progeny in the F2 generation? He got 1, 2, 3. 3 red-eyed flies. And how many white-eyed flies? Only 1 white-eyed flies. So if you see in this white-eyed flies, Y chromosome is present. That means he got 1 white-eyed male. Okay. In the red-eyed flies, if you see, you got 1 Y chromosome in them. That means what? 1 red-eyed male is obtained and remaining 2 are red-eyed female. So what is the ratio? 3:1. Okay. So 3 red-eyed. In the 3 red-eyed, 2 were female red and 1 was red male, and white-eyed male 1. So he did not get any white-eyed female, and he wondered what happened, actually why we are not getting white-eyed female. So he has made a cross between body color and eye color. He has taken 2 contrasting characters and done a dihybrid cross. So he has represented the body color, brown body color he has taken and crossed with yellow body color. So yellow is recessive. By doing monohybrid cross, we can know which color is dominant over the which color. So if he found out that the yellow color is dominant over brown color. So yellow means they have taken small y and dominant is small y plus. So small y plus is the wild type over the yellow body color. And he has also taken the eye color, that is white is recessive. So white is represented by small w. It is crossed with the red eye color which is dominant. It is written as W plus. It is a wild type. Plus means wild type. Now we can say which is dominant over which. So brown body color, red eye color is dominant over yellow body color and white eye color. He has crossed this between the brown body color, red eye color male and with the yellow body color, white-eyed female. That is cross A. So plus represents the wild type. Female will have 2 X chromosome like the human beings. So it has the genes that is yellow and white on the X chromosome. So both the chromosome will carry this Y and W. And in the male, if you see, it is XY like human beings. So it will carry the wild genes, that is Y plus for brown body color, W plus for red eye color. They are present on the X chromosome and no genes are present on the Y chromosome, showing that it is sex-linked inheritance. If you see the cross between female and male, you can see the female is having 2 X chromosome and the male is having 1 X and 1 Y chromosome. So you can see the distance between them. I have drawn it very nearer. So we'll see why we have drawn it very nearer. So Y chromosome is present, Y character is present, that is yellow body color is present and white eye color is present on the X chromosome of the female. Here you can see the wild type present on the male. Wild type means brown body color and the red eye color. Now you draw the gametes. Gametes are always drawn in circle. Remember that gametes are always drawn in circle. I did not show here, but it should be in circle only. So if you see the gametes, 2 gametes are present for the female, 2 gametes are present for the male. The male will carry Y chromosome and X chromosome. The female will carry XX gametes for the female. So if you cross both of them, you will find Y and W for X and this one Y plus and W plus from the male. So this is one progeny. And if you see this cross with the gametes Y and W and this is the Y chromosome. So you'll get another progeny. If you see both are X, so it is a female. If you see here one is Y chromosome is present, so it is male. So now these are the F1 generation. In the F1 generation, what did you get? You have got the wild type female and a yellow body, white eye color male. Now this you can make a selfing. If you cross the female with the male, you will write the gametes. These gametes are written in the circle. So if you see this gamete, it is wild type female. If you see this gamete, it carries yellow body color with the white eye color. And now these are the 2 parental combination because it is like a parent. The female parent is similar to these 2 gametes. Now crossing over can occur between these 2 X chromosome. So you'll get a new combination that is called as Y plus. It is nothing but the brown color or the wild type and the white eye color. And the other new combination is yellow body color with the red eye color, female. Okay, these are the female gametes. So 1, 2 are the parental combination, 2 are the new combination. It is called as recombinance. Okay, now with the male gametes, you will get yellow and white on the X chromosome and 1 Y chromosome carrying gamete. So if you see, there are no gametes, no body color or the eye color genes on the Y chromosome. So these gametes should be drawn in a circle. Now we'll see in a Punnett square. This side on the top side, you will have the male gamete. This side you will have the female gamete. So male gamete, this is the X part of the male gamete. This is the Y part of the male gamete. And these 4 are the X part of the female gamete. If you see, topmost 2 are the parental combination and the bottommost 2 are the new recombinants. So if you cross this with this, you will find Y and W present on the X chromosome. Again, if you cross this with this, you will find Y plus W plus and Y and W on the X chromosome. If you cross this with this, you will find Y plus W and Y W in the X chromosome. If you cross this with this, you will find Y W plus Y W in the X chromosome. So all these are X chromosomes only. So these will be daughters or the female. We'll shift to the next cross. So now if you cross Y chromosome with this X chromosome, you will get YW with the Y chromosome. If you cross this with this, you will get Y plus W plus with the Y chromosome. If you cross this with this, you will get Y plus W with the Y chromosome. If you cross this with this, you will get YW plus with the Y chromosome. So this is all sons, that is male, because it is carrying male Y chromosome. So these are sons and these are daughters. Now if you see the characters of these two are having parental characters. Is it not? This is a parental combination with this is a parental combination with this. So what is the character of this? Yellow and white eye colored female. This is also wild type female. So wild type means brown body color and red eye color female. So they are parental combination. If you see this is a new combinant I told you. So new variety of female is obtained. It is dominant is brown and here it is white. So it is a new combination of the female. So it expresses white-eyed female. And if you see here, yellow color, body of color, and here W plus means it is wild character. That means it will be red eye. So yellow bodied female. So you got new two combination and in the daughters and new and old parental combination in the daughters. If you see the sons, these two are parental combination. Yellow color, white-eyed male, wild type male, that is brown with the red-eyed male. These two are parental combination. And if you see these two are new recombinants in the sons, that is a male. So it is white eye colored male with the brown body color, and this is yellow body color with the red eyed male. So these two are new here and these two are new. These two are old parental combination and these two are old parental combination. So these four are parental combinations with two daughters and two sons. These four are new recombinants with two daughters and two sons. So if you see the ratio between these two parental combination and the new recombinants, the frequency is different. So the frequency in the parental combination, if you see, it is 98.7%. And if you see the recombinant frequency, it is 1.3%. That means what? Parental combination is more and recombinant frequency is less. That means what? The genes that has been present on the chromosome are placed nearby. These two genes are very nearby on the chromosome. What are these two genes here? Yellow bodied and white eye colored. And here what are the genes? Brown body color and red eye color. These two are nearly present. That is why we got new parental combination more. And these two genes, they are little far away. That means because of the crossing over, we got a new recombinant, but that is very less percentage. More percentage of parent combination, less percentage of recombination. That means these two genes are tightly linked. So what is that? These two genes present in the parents will show 98.7 means they are tightly linked genes. So because of the tightly linked genes, these show more percentage of the parent. The more the linkage between the genes, that means the more the genes are closely present to each other or tightly present to each other, there will be less separation between them, so less recombination. That is why we got more percentage of the parental frequency and less percentage of the recombinant frequency. That means parent combination is more. That means what? They are tightly linked genes. Okay. If you see the cross B between the eye color and the wing size, if you take the eye color, same like that only. Red eye color is dominant over white eye color. It is represented by small w plus and W for the white. Normal wings is dominant over miniature wings. This is also called as vestigial wings. So it is represented by small m for miniature wing, and for the normal wings, it is represented by small m plus. So wild type normal wings are present and wild type red eyes are present. So now red eye color with the normal wings is crossed with the white eye color and the miniature wings. So we'll see how much link they are present. So in this, the distance between the white and the miniature is more than the distance between the genes that is present in the cross-A. In the cross-A, what did we take? We took body color and the eye color. We know that they gave more percentage of parental combination. That means they are tightly linked. Now we'll see what is the linkage between the white eye color and the miniature wing size. So white eyes W and the miniature wings M is taken as female, and the red eye color and the normal wings are taken as male. Now we'll do cross B between these two. So this side is the female, this side is the male. So you can see the position of this W and the M. The M is near the centromere. So for our convenience, we have drawn like that. Before, Morgan did not know about the distance between these two. So now, so in the female, what we have taken? White eye color with the miniature wings. And in the male, we have taken red eye color with the normal wings. So male is a wild type. Now draw the gametes. There is no genes on the Y chromosome. So these gametes are drawn in circle. So for the XX, you will draw like this gametes with X1 having W and M, and another X will be having W and M. In the male gametes, you will draw wild type, that is W plus and M plus, and Y will not have any genes. Now, if you cross this one with male gamete, you will get this kind of progeny. And if you cross this one with the male gamete containing Y chromosome, you will get this kind of progeny. So that means female is obtained and male is obtained. So what is the character of this female? It is wild type. Wild type means what? It has red eyes with normal wings, female. And what is the character of male? Because it is having Y chromosome, no? So we'll have the male. So what is the character of male here? It is a white-eyed color with the miniature wings. Now we'll make a cross between this female and this male. First draw the gametes. Gametes are always drawn in circle only. So these are the parental combination, W plus M plus WM. So these are the parental combination. Now there will be a crossing between these two X chromosomes. There is a possibility. So we'll take the possibility. We'll draw new combination W plus M, W, M plus. So 4 gametes have been obtained with 2 parental gametes and 2 new recombinants. And why, if you see the male parent, it will have WM with the Y chromosome separately going into the gamete. So these gametes are drawn in circle. While drawing in the paper, you should draw it in circles only. Whatever gametes are present, they are drawn in circles. Now we'll see the cross. This side you will draw the male gamete and this side you will draw the female gamete. See the position of the genes present on the gamete chromosome. So if you cross this male gamete with the female, you will get this kind of progeny. So WM on the X chromosome, WM on the other X chromosome. If you cross this female gamete with this male gamete, you will get W plus M plus on one X chromosome, W and M on other X chromosome. If you cross this with this, you will get W plus M and W and M. If you cross this with this, you will get WM plus WM. So you can see XX chromosome is present this side. That means what? These are all female, that is daughters. If you cross again this side Y chromosome with the X chromosome of this gamete, you will get WM with the Y chromosome. No genes are present on them. So it is a sex-linked inheritance. This is female gamete is crossed with this male gamete, you will get W plus M plus. If you cross this female gamete with this male gamete, you will get W plus M. If you cross this female gamete with this male gamete, you will get WM plus. So these are all having Y chromosome. That means what? These are all male or the sons. Now if you see characters, here the female is having white and miniature type. If you see this is a wild type. It is having red-eyed color with a normal wings, female. If you see this is having miniature wings. And this is a wild type because it is W plus. And if you see this, M plus is a wild type, and you can see white-eyed female. If you see this white-eyed male with the miniature wings, and if you see this, it is a wild type male with the red-eyed male with normal wings. If you see this red eye is wild type with the miniature wings. If you see this, normal wings are present with the white-eyed, it is present in the male. So if you see the combination, the top 4 are the parental combination and the bottom 4 are the recombinants. New combinants are present in them. We did not see this type of combinants in the parents. So they are new parental, non-parental combination. If you see the percentage of this parents and the progenies of this side, you can see variation. So parental type are 4. They have the combination frequency as 62.8. Parental combination frequency is 62.8, whereas the recombinants are 4 and their frequency is 37.2%. That means what? The recombinant percentage has increased and the parental combination has decreased. That time what did we get? We got 98.7% of parents and 1.3% of recombinant. But here what did we get? Parental combination is 62.8% and the recombinant frequency is 37.2%. That means what? The genes are present far away. That is why more crossing over has occurred in them. So new recombinants has occurred. That means what? The genes are loosely present on the chromosome. So if the genes are having less linkage, more number of new variations are produced. That means more separation is present, so more recombinants are obtained. Okay, children? So if the linkage between the genes is less, that means they are loosely present, more the distance between them, so more separation or the recombination is seen in the progeny. That is the result. Okay, understood? So tightly linked genes will show less recombination. Loosely linked genes will show more recombination. So now we'll see the comparison between the crosses in Drosophila melanogaster. So in the cross A, what did Morgan take? Body color and eye color. In the cross B, what did Morgan take? Eye color and the wing size. So what is the body color? Brown is dominant over yellow. What is eye color? Red is dominant over white in the cross A. In the cross B, you know, eye color red is dominant over white. And wing size, if you see, normal wing size is dominant over the miniature wing size. And what are the parental combination for cross A? Parental combination is 98.7% and the recombination is 1.3%. In the cross B, what did they got? Parental combination is 62.8% and the recombination is 37.2%. That means what? In cross A, the genes are tightly linked. In the cross B, the genes are loosely linked. That is why we can see more recombination. So tightly linked genes will have less distance, so less recombination. In the loosely linked genes, more distance and more recombination. So this, because of this, the person T.H. Morgan has told about the linkage and recombination. This aspect has been missed by Mendel. When Mendel has given the law of independent assortment, that time he did not know about the linkage and recombination. If he has known about the linkage, he wouldn't have given the law of independent assortment. What is the law of independent assortment? Law of independent assortment tells that when one pair of contrasting character is inherited by the progeny independent of the other pair of contrasting character. That means one pair is independently going to the progeny without the influence of other pair of contrasting character. But Morgan has told about the linkage and disapproved the law of independent assortment given by Mendel. Okay, children. So law of dominance also has the deviation. It shows incomplete dominance and codominance. Law of independent assortment also has the deviation. It shown by the linkage genes. And law of segregation shows the law of purity of gametes. It is universally accepted without any exception. So now we see the question answers. Now it is time for us to recollect what we have learned. So who proposed the chromosomal theory of inheritance? It is Walter Sutton and Theodore Boveri. Who defined the law of segregation and law of independent assortment. Law of segregation means two alleles of a contrasting character will be separating without mixing. They will be inherited by the gametes during the gamete formation. And what is law of independent assortment? Law of independent assortment says that during the inheritance of one pair of contrasting character in regard to the other pair of contrasting character, the progeny will inherit only one pair of contrasting character independently of the other pair of contrasting character. So explain the dihybrid cross with the help of Punnett squared both by taking contrasting traits, seed color and seed shape. So we have seen the dihybrid cross with the seed color and seed shape. Same thing, the answer is here. So seed color means it is a yellow and green. Seed shape means it is a round and wrinkled. You can do the dihybrid cross using these two traits and get the result. Phenotypic result is 9:3:3:1 and the genotypic ratio is 4:2:2:2:2:2:1:1:1:1. With that, you can do the dihybrid cross. What is linkage? Who has discovered it? Linkage is nothing but the tendency of the genes to be inherited by the progeny without assorting. That is called as linkage. It has been discovered by T.H. Morgan and it was studied by Alfred Steuven using genetic maps. How do genes and chromosomes share similarities from the viewpoint of genetic studies? Genes are present in a linear order on the chromosome and chromosome will have the sequence of the genes on it. That is the same viewpoint of the genesis who has studied genes and chromosome. So genes are present in a linear sequence on the chromosome. Chromosomes will have orderly sequence of the genes on it. It will not change. It is permanent on it. Okay. So with this, we complete the session. Thank you. Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity.
Excellent, Bharati. Really.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We are really very happy about your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you.
The depth is really, I was listening to your class for the last 1 hour, 15 minutes.
Thank you, sir.
The content about dihybrid cross, law of independent assortment with great explanations and especially linkage and recombination is really awesome. I congratulate you for giving us in-depth knowledge to the faculty as well as the students. Thank you very much, Mrs.